Right then, so welcome everybody, and if it's the first time you've ever tuned into the channel, thank you very much for coming to see what I'm up to. We're at the end of June. We're under the living willow arch that we put in a year and a half ago, and the sweet peas that I've got growing up the side are in full bloom now, looking lovely. I mean, walking through here is just magical. It's a magical entrance to the garden. And excuse me, what I thought I'd do today is just go through a few things that I've learnt and picked up along the way to help maintain the blooms for the next 2 months at least. You know, we can get this going right to the end of August by just doing a few things, and then at the end of August we can let the flowers do their thing and pod, and then we can collect the seeds. So I'll just go through a few things I've learned, especially if you want nice long stems so you can pick them for a vase at home. So I'll just take you off the tripod, we'll go in a bit closer and I'll show you what I've learned. Okay, so I brought you in closer, hopefully you can see this. Now I've left these go a little bit too long just so I can show you what I've learned. But in order to keep the flowers producing and keep the plant producing and new flowers coming through, we mustn't let the pods form. These are the seed pods, because like a lot of other plants, their mission in life is to produce seed, and once they do that, the plant will either stop producing flowers or at least it'll really slow down the production. Now you might miss some, it's not the end of the world. Let's get a few more there, but obviously if you keep checking them and keep picking regularly, you should get them. And if you think about it, the flowers grow up these single, quite round stems. So if you look for that, at the end of it, if you haven't got a flower, you'll probably have a pod. So keep nipping the pods off. You can do it when you pick the flowers or just looking for pods. All right. Now, come the end of August through to the middle of September, then we can let the flowers carry on, pod up, then we can pick the pods and sow some seeds. So that's the first thing I've learned. Right, well obviously the easiest way to avoid them going to seed and stop producing is to pick the open flowers. If you can't see any flowers, they can't go to seed. And as you can see, these have got lovely long stems, and I found that the autumn sown plants tend to have longer, straighter stems. There we go, a few more. And as you can see, we may have picked these, all the open ones, but we've got all these beautiful flowers just waiting to open up and keep producing for us. I mean, it's such an incredible plant and the smell is just brilliant. Now, one other thing that I do, which there again helps to keep the nice straight stems, is when I'm picking, if I see any tendrils like this at the end, I'll just nip them off. It doesn't hurt the plant, and it will prevent the plant from putting the tendrils around your stem and deforming the stem. I mean, you don't have to do every one, but it's no hardship, is it? When you see them, nip them off. And I'll just move you and zoom in, and you can see why I nip off the tendrils. Okay, on there you can see a perfect example of why I try and nip off the tendrils when I'm picking the flowers. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's like everything, effort in, results out. And you can see there that that tendril has wrapped itself around that flower and around that stem, around that flower, around that stem, and bent them over. You see? So that is never going to straighten up and produce you a beautiful long stem flower. Now, I caught this fairly early, so I can just nip the tendrils like that. There you go, you see that straighten up already. Then I'll nick the tendril off. Right, because these tendrils are so prolific and they grab on so tightly. And that's opened up 3 more now. All right, so that's why I just nip off tendrils when I see them to help produce the long straight stems that we want for the vases at home. Right, so there's our lovely bunch of sweet peas, all picked, and here we've got a few marigolds there as well, and some lobelia around the bottom. There again, deadhead your marigolds until you want seed. And yeah, and I've picked every single open flower on these plants. You might think, oh, it looks a bit bare, but believe me, within just a few days, all these others will open up and will look just as nice all over again. There's 6 plants here on this this side, and I got 6 the other side, and all I do is keep them watered and once a month give them a bit of a liquid feed. So that's it. That's all the tips I've got on sweet peas. Hopefully somebody found it useful, and as always, I'm always learning. So if you've got any great sweet pea tips or advice from me to get better, really look forward to hearing what you have to say in the comments. Right, well, there we go. Super sweet peas. Cheers and gone.